Hey everyone, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. Happy Friday night, TGIF. Tonight, what I want to talk about is 5 findable, affordable alternatives to Blantons. Go ahead and roll the intro. So everybody knows Blantons, right? It is the mythical horsey topped bottle shaped kind of like a grenade that every bourbon geek, whiskey geek, anybody who enjoys the occasional sip of whiskey either has heard of or has sought after or what have you. It boasts being the original single barrel, right? This is from the Buffalo Trace Distillery, obviously, but Blanton's was actually introduced in the late 80s, named after Colonel Albert Blanton. And this was largely done as a marketing scheme, right? It had a very unique bottle shape. Whiskey was very much in the depths, the throes of the whiskey glut, right? The sexy thing was clear spirits. People were drinking a lot of vodkas. They were drinking a lot of gins. Flavored vodkas were just kind of coming out onto the market, but everybody wanted that clear spirit, that vodka, like, James Bond. He drank a martini, shaken, not stirred. People wanted to kind of push back against their fathers and their grandfathers. People brought up bourbon and oh no, this is what my grandfather drinks. I'm not drinking that. Give me a martini or give me a gin spritz or anything like that. Nowadays, you got people who tell you, friends don't let friends drink vodka. But back in the late 80s, bourbon producers were hurting. They were looking for a way to sell their whiskey, to make their whiskey stand out on shelves. One way that they did that was obviously the bottle shape. At the time when they released all these, the letters on the corks were not a thing. It was just a horse and jockey on the top of a bottle. Had a very unique presentation, but it was also the very first time a single barrel bottle of bourbon was marketed to the public. It's a 93 proof bottle. That hasn't changed. But what has changed is the offerings have expanded, right? You got the Takara Reds, the Takara Blacks, the Green Label Special Reserve, the regular single barrels. You got the barrel proof straight from the barrel, the Blantons Golds. You've got the La Maison du Whiskey limited bottlings. The list goes on and on. If you guys haven't had a chance to read the book Warehouse H yet, I highly, highly recommend reading it. It goes very, very in depth into what Blanton's is, how it came to be, and what the rarest of Blantons are. I think actually to answer that question, the rarest of all Blantons is probably the silver casting Blantons. I think there were only 5 or 10 of those made, and I think in existence there might only be 4 of them left. But I think those were a Japan exclusive sent over to stores to kind of reward them for their loyalty. But anyways, before we can talk here forever on the history of Blanton's, but I want to give you guys 5 alternatives, 5 other bottles that are sitting on the shelves in most liquor stores that could provide at least a comparable alternative to this unicorn bottle. And don't get it twisted. If you guys got a little extra coin in your pocket, these are findable, right? They should be about $55, $65, maybe $70 in your market, depending on what SRP is. They have gone up in the last couple of years. Used to be a $50 bottle, then it was $60. Here in my market, I think they're up to $64.99 here in Michigan. But there are options if you're looking for something close to this. And we're going to start on the far end of the spectrum and kind of work our way up. But the first one I want to talk about is the Evan Williams single barrel. Now, I realize that this is a Heaven Hill product. I realize that Blanton's is 93 proof and this one's only 86 proof. But Evan Williams single barrel has long been regarded as one of the best budget bangers that you can get your hands on. I think these are about $45 or $50 now. Great presentation with the wax. It gives you all the information on the back, when it was barreled, the barrel number, the bottle, the on date, if you're looking to collect it just like Blanton's does. And it provides, I would say, a better drinking experience than Blanton's. I've always found Evan Williams single barrel to have more depth and more character than Blanton's does. I've even collected, every year stamp on these up to 2015, I think is the current one. And I plan on getting one in 2017, March 22nd, 2017, my stepson was born, and I would love to get one of these so that I can crack it open with him on his 21st birthday. These are super, super good, super available. I know they went back to being a Kentucky only for a hot second, but they're starting to make their way out again. We're starting to see them show up in other markets. I believe Ohio has these back on the shelves now. So if you see these, do not pass up on them. I would take one of these over a Blantons nowadays if I had my druthers. So that's the first one. Okay. Second one, Blade and Bow. Okay. Now this is only 90 proof. I believe it is a 4-grain. It's not a single barrel, but why I suggested this, okay, is because each bottle of Blade and Bow comes with one of these nifty little keys. And when you get all 5, I don't believe they make this key ring anymore. I bought this a few years ago, but once you collect all 5, then you can get your julep cup. I have mine, it's sitting right over there. I didn't grab it for the video, but this has a very unique glass shape to it. It has a really cool story about, you know, each of the 5 keys representing one of the steps of distillation. Cool shape bottle, cool story. It's 91 proof. So 1 proof point off the Stitzel-Weller distillery. Definitely no slouch in bourbon lore. We took a tour there this summer and it was absolutely exceptional. They do have a Blade and Bow 22, which I would love to get my hands on, but at $1,000 a bottle, I might be sleeping on the couch for quite a while if I brought one of those home. But if you see these, it's really not bad whiskey. I really like it. It has a slight earthy taste to it, but I kind of like that. People kind of scoff at it or brush it off because it's not super sought after, not super allocated, and it doesn't come from Buffalo Trace. Well, okay, I mean, there's other good whiskey. There's a lot of good whiskeys that don't come from Buffalo Trace. But this one with the collectible keys and the story and the packaging, I think this is right up there with Blantons, in my personal opinion. But now let's get to something a little bit closer, right? So, Buffalo Trace single barrel picks. So this is 90 proof. This is a single barrel from the Shores Canteen. Shout out to Mark and Rams for picking this one. But these are all over the place, guys, and they're half the price of Blantons. They're $35, and in a lot of times, you're going to get a better drinking experience, a better flavor profile, and just an overall better bottle in one of these than what you're going to get in a Blantons. And that's just me being honest with you. And I have all 8 of the Horsey toppers, and I plan on sending them in to have them mounted and all that so that I can display it here in the speakeasy. But a lot of times these Buffalo Trace picks are really, really good. Blantons is on average aged, I think they say 5 or 6 years. A lot of these Buffalo Trace picks are 5 to 6 years as well. I know that it's a few proof points lower, but I think it's pretty comparable. Yes, they're aged in different warehouses. Yes, they're going to be different mash bills, but they're both going to be from Buffalo Trace. I didn't say they were going to be identical. So before all you mash bill hounds out there start calling me out in the comments, yes, I realize same, but different. Okay. Let's just be real about what we're talking about here. Okay. The next one is actually a pretty big favorite of mine. This is the Ancient Age 10-star. Back in the day, this used to be 10 years age stated before the bourbon boom re-erupted and caused stocks to run low. So this is also a 90 proofer. This is a Buffalo Trace product. It is very close, in my opinion, to the Blantons flavor profile. Regular Ancient Age comes in at 80 proof. Just leave that one on the shelf. But if you can find the Ancient Age 10-star, this stuff sits on shelves for $15, $17, $18, something like that. And it's really, really good. It has kind of that traditional Jack Daniel's No. 7-esque bottle shape, but it's got the cool gold label, kind of classy. This one, somebody in one of our barrel clubs came out with this 3D printed design. I don't know if you guys can see, it does say AAA on there, but it's got a little knight with his jousting sword and whatever. But it's a cool presentation either way. It's got a very classy, very eclectic look to it, but I think it tastes very, very close to a Blantons. And I would, for the money, I would probably buy these more often than I would buy Blantons, because for a almost $60 swing in price difference, I would probably go after one of these, knowing what I know now. And I do have quite a few of these. I've got 3 or 4 backup bottles of these. I have a 1 liter that I bought on a whim. I got a 1.75 that I bought because I had never seen one before. So I have quite a bit of the Ancient Age 10-star sitting down here. So I'm not just running my mouth. I actually do have quite a few of these. I drink these. You can see where the fill level is on this one. Lastly, and I think probably the closest, This is also a Buffalo Trace product, but it is the Benchmark single barrel. So we have a true single barrel product, 95 proof, 93 proof. Both Buffalo Trace, again, not the same mash bills. $25, I want to say, $25, $26, $70, $75. If you're paying secondary, these are still going for $200. Please, please, please find one of your friends that has Blantons, find a store owner, build a relationship, something. Do not pay $200 for a bottle of Blantons. I'm begging you guys, don't do it. Matt, if you're listening, I'm talking to you. Do not pay $200 for a bottle of Blantons. I don't care whose birthday is on it. Okay? It's not worth it. This is fantastic. It's higher proof. It tastes just as good, if not better. Buy this. Buy any of the other bottles I talked about. And this stuff at SRP, I will still probably buy here and there because they're cool. I do like having them on the shelf. I like the story of it. But at this point, I'm really more in the market for something like this, which is the Blantons Gold Edition, which is a little bit older. I believe it's still 93 proof, right? Why doesn't it tell me what the proof is on it? No. Okay, so this is 103 proof. Never mind. So this one's higher proof, a little bit older. I'm definitely looking for a gold or a straight from the barrel. Special Reserve is lower proof, but I've been told that it is the best tasting of the lineup. The Takara Reds, the Takara Blacks. I'm on the hunt for those, any special bottlings. I'm probably going to leave the regular single barrels just sitting on the shelf at this point because they're cool. But at $75, $80, that's about my limit for these things. I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of money for them. For that money, I can buy 3 of these guys. I can buy 4 or 5 of these guys. I can buy probably 2 of these. I can buy 2 of these. I can buy at least 3 reasonably priced anyways, Buffalo store picks. I don't see the logic. I don't see the point in spending that kind of money on Blantons. Now, if you've got more money than you know what to do with, if you're just lighting the shit on fire, go for it. Have at it. Collect all of it. Stockpile cases. Hey, do what you want. Can't take it with you. Do whatever makes you happy. But if it's me, I'm taking one of these guys before I'm taking one of these, depending on the price. So that's it. That's all I got. Please feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of my list. If you think I'm right on, if you think I'm way off, let me know. Please, guys, like, comment, subscribe, give us a follow on Instagram. We're always putting new content out. I'm always looking for new video ideas. So I look forward to seeing you next time, but cheers.